If you're still not rich, it's not because you're unlucky, it's because nobody ever told you the truth I'm about to tell you right now. Most people think the reason they're not rich is because they're missing information. They think if they just had one more strategy, one more side hustle idea, one more course, one more perfect moment, then suddenly everything would change, but the truth is much simpler and, unfortunately, much harder to accept. You're not rich yet because you haven't done the things that rich people do long enough, consistently enough, or intensely enough to get the result. That's it, not sexy, not viral, but real. People love to believe they're one secret away because it removes responsibility. If the problem is a missing secret, then the solution is easy, find the secret. But if the problem is you, then the solution requires changing your behavior, and that's painful. So instead of doing the boring, repetitive work that actually makes money, most people spend their time hunting shortcuts, scrolling for inspiration, comparing themselves to people who worked for years in silence, and convincing themselves that they're trying. You're not trying. You're dabbling, and dabbling doesn't make anyone rich. If you look at anyone who makes serious money, you will find a long track record of doing the same thing over and over again until they became undeniable. Not talented, not chosen, not special, just consistent. You can discipline everyone around you and still not be rich immediately, because money lags behind effort, and most people quit during the lag. They stop 1 month before the breakthrough, one skill before mastery, one failure before the lesson that would have changed their entire trajectory. The reason you're not rich yet is because you haven't suffered enough consequences from staying the same. Comfort is expensive. It costs you time, opportunities, and momentum, and the moment the pain of staying broke becomes greater than the pain of changing your habits, you will flip. Everybody has a flipping point. The question is whether you'll hit it now or wait until life forces it on you. When you lose your job, your bills pile up, or someone depends on you and you realize you have nothing to offer. Rich people don't wait for pressure. They create it themselves. People think building wealth is about finding the perfect business idea. Wrong. It's about building the perfect version of yourself that can execute any idea. The idea matters less than the operator. I've seen people take terrible business models and turn them into six figures simply because they were relentless. And I've seen people with perfect business models make nothing because they couldn't focus for more than a week. You want to fix your income, fix yourself. What does that actually mean? It means removing the behaviors that keep you poor, procrastinating, overthinking, waiting to feel motivated, starting something new every week. Quitting the moment it gets boring. You need to replace those behaviors with a new identity, someone who shows up every day, someone who makes decisions fast, someone who learns skills even when they suck at them, someone who treats discipline like oxygen, not motivation. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is a furnace. You want to get rich, build the furnace. Most people underestimate how long it takes to get good at something. You're bad at sales, bad at marketing, bad at communication, bad at consistency, and you expect to win. Wealth is a skill, and skills stack. You don't get rich because you had one great idea. You get rich because you stack skills, learning how to sell, learning how to create an offer, learning how to fulfill on that offer, learning how to acquire customers, learning how to lead, learning how to adapt. Every skill you add increases your earning capacity. Your income is a reflection of the skills you've mastered and the problems you can solve. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. You already know enough to get started. You don't need a new idea. You don't need another plan. You don't need permission. You need execution. If I took everything away from you and dropped you anywhere in the world, and you could only do one thing to change your life, it would be this. Pick one offer, sell it to one type of person every day without missing for 6 months straight. You'd be shocked how rich you'd get, not because the offer is magical, but because for the first time in your life you'd be consistent long enough to see compounding take over. If you want to fix your income fast, here's the only shortcut that exists. Eliminate everything that slows you down. The scrolling, the comparing, the waiting to feel ready, the self-doubt, the fake productivity. Your life changes when your standards change. You should be working on your skill set every day. You should be learning every day. You should be selling every day. You should be building something every day, not talking about it, not thinking about it, building. The truth is, you're not rich yet because you haven't made the decision to become unrecognizable. Rich people think differently. They don't look for easy, they look for effective. They don't ask how long will this take. They ask how many repetitions until I'm good. They don't complain about outcomes they didn't work for. They understand that you don't get rich by trying. You get rich by transforming, and transformation is uncomfortable. It requires killing the version of yourself that got you your current life, and that version doesn't die quietly. It fights back with excuses, fear, and laziness. But once you break through that identity barrier, everything changes. Money becomes predictable. Opportunities multiply. People seek you out instead of you chasing them. Your confidence grows because it's built on actual work, not affirmations. And suddenly you realize that wealth was never about luck. It was about discipline. It was about becoming someone capable of producing value at a level most people don't even attempt. So if you're not rich yet, stop looking outward, look inward, ask yourself, what behaviors would a wealthy version of me do every day? Then do those behaviors now today, before you feel ready, before you know everything, before your environment changes. The fastest way to fix your income is to behave like the person who already earns what you want. Not tomorrow, not next year, now. Because the real reason you're not rich yet isn't the market, the economy, your circumstances, or your lack of knowledge. The real reason is that you haven't committed to the actions that make wealth inevitable. And the moment you finally do, you won't have to chase money anymore. It will chase you.